Hi, this is Gene. A couple of videos ago, I showed you the unboxing of Southpaw, and today I watched it, and I'm going to give my review on it. During the unboxing, I talked about I hoped that the movie would show us some issues that happens when something like this happens. Those who've seen the movie, and those who haven't, I mean, I'll put in the low bar the trailer. The trailer pretty much shows what happens when his wife gets killed and how he responds to that. First, before I go on, I like the movie. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the complaints I've seen on the reviews on it, and whether I think that they're valid. Then I'm going to tell you how I felt about it, and especially when we get to the part of men's issues in the movie, how that was handled, and what they could have done better. And then I'll give you my final rating. Also, there will be spoilers throughout the entire review, so if you don't want to hear what happens in the movie, don't watch this movie or this review. So, I just want to let you know that what I read I didn't watch it, I didn't read it till after I watched the movie, but there were a lot of complaints because in the movie, after his wife gets killed, they lose everything, and they do touch on it a couple times in the movie before he loses everything, and they basically goes over it. But then the manager there, the guy that's basically playing the Don King role, that was 50 Cent, was there, and I guess the manager was there, and Billy, Jake Gyllenhaal character, is just sitting there listening to what they have to say. This is after the wife has been killed, and he's obviously not really listening and stuff. But the manager said that there were a lot of bills that haven't been paid for a while. And what this movie does over and over again talks about how that Jake, or Billy Hope, was just a tool to get money, and it was the wife that was supposed to take care of everything. So it was clear. They don't go into in the movie, and I don't know if they really had to do it there, but I'm just trying to respond to the complaints that are on the reviews on it, saying that he lost his wife, then 30 minutes later, or basically two weeks later, they're going to have to sell everything off. The problem is she wasn't paying the stuff, because in the movie it shows that she grew up in the same area that he did, from Hell's Kitchen, didn't really have any, didn't know anything about money. So obviously she wasn't paying for what she should have done, and it was something that was coming on, and that was why the manager that was playing the Don King part was trying to get Billy to sign another 3-fight deal to get $30 million more, not only for obviously the manager's self, but I guess so that Billy would not be on the street. So the movie. The complaint I have there that I do agree with to a point is that the wife, wanted him basically to retire at some point. Either she forgot or didn't know that she was the one that was losing all the money, not taking care of it. Like I said, they kind of just gloss over that, because Billy looks at the other manager, the white guy, I guess that's the white that deals with the money. He basically accused him of taking money from him. So that's not unusual for a fire movie, talking about you lose everything. You have all this money and you lose it all. I mean, I can go through several different instances that's happened to real fighters, like Holyfield, that did it and lost all his money. So it's not unusual for that type of thing to happen. But a lot of people complain that it happened so fast. But it is a movie, and you can only talk about it over about 2 hours. The issue I had is right after that, and all this happened, and he had issues and lost his daughter, and because he had no money, he fought 8 weeks later. And if you saw the beginning of the movie, he gets beat up pretty bad in the title fight. I mean, he wins the fight, but he can't really move for the next couple days, and then his wife dies and all that stuff, and he's supposed to work or fight again in 8 weeks. So I think that was a little bit unrealistic, even though all this stuff was going on in his life. And then of course he loses that fight. I think the problem for me as somebody that looks at things a little bit different than others, is I think that they could have explored that a little bit more. Also, it goes when he loses his daughter on the family court, and to see what happens there. Not being able to touch or just hug his daughter, and then the cops trying to stop him from happening. That's so very emotional for me. I mean, throughout this movie, I teared up many times. And then, so it shows some things. Obviously, this guy had issues that needed to take care of, but it does kind of like opens the door a little bit of what happens in family court, or in situations like this, that you might lose your parent or your kid. So, in a couple other things that they make it sound out that Billy was just the simple one in the relationship, and he made him felt that he was that way as too. That basically I pay for everything, and I do this with my fists, and I do this. The girl in the movie was really good. Some of the lines I didn't like so much, but there are parts. I mean, I was getting kind of upset with it, with the director of it, until Forrest Whitaker said that she needed to grieve on her own, and I understand what he was going through. And I thought for Forrest, that was a very good role for him. Now, there are a lot of people, other complaints is this movie is formulaic, that everything knew was going to happen. It could have been different, I guess, and allowed, I don't know, him to kill everybody. The thing is, there's several moments in this. He almost killed himself after his wife died. Then he decided he's not going to do that, and he wants to go beat up people or kill the people that did it to him. And he goes through a lot of stuff that a lot of guys go through. And I've said it many times in other my videos, that where do guys can go to actually talk about stuff like this. And he gets his mentor when he goes to that gym. Talks about, he goes anger management, and they never really show what he does there. I would have liked to seen that, to see who he's talking to. It looked like all he really did is, once he got his act kind of together, he started training again, and he had Forrest Whitaker as the mentor that kind of like brought him back. But Forrest also had a lot of issues going on with him. So I wish they would have explored that more. But if you do that, it could be like a 3-minute or 3-hour movies. There were a lot of things that they really could have looked at, about what that drives a man to do what he did, almost did, by killing himself or going out and kill somebody else. Because we were told so many times that men don't have emotions, that we don't feel pain. And this movie shows that. It shows it very well, and I think that's why it's a recommend for me. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I didn't really like the end so much. I won't spoil that part. I think it was that at the very end that was very formulaic. I would imagine there's probably a different ending that they could have had. I mean, if people forget that Rocky lost in that first fight against Apollo, and I think that made that movie even better, because of what he was going through. And at the end, he didn't care about winning. He cared that Adrian was there and he had somebody that supported him. The real thing that I liked about the movie, even though there were some things I didn't like, I thought that the wife, of course, like I said, they really go into the fact that she was probably one that was responsible for losing the financial issues. Now, she probably thought that, she said she doesn't care, the money was not important. So, but I like how she was very supportive for him, and was always there for him, and guys need that. So, at the end, I think that it's one of the better movies of the year. Obviously, Jake should be nominated. He probably won't be, because it wasn't as, I guess, as good as Nightcrawler, or he wasn't nominated for that either. So, he is the best American actor right now, and I hope that he gets that somebody dominates him, because he's the best out there. Yes, it's difficult when an actor goes in to be a fighter. I think he did at least as well as Stallone did. Probably a lot better than Stallone. But I thought it was a really good movie, and I'm glad that I bought it, and I'll watch it again, because it's rare for a movie that makes me cry, and it definitely did. And even though I knew that the guy, especially when the wife, I knew that she was going to be killed, it still was, it was very, his emotion and everything, it's just very hard to see. And it's nice to see that, I guess at the end, if it turns out to be a good story, that he got him, he became a good man at the end. Well, that's all I have. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, I'll do it for other movies if you like. Normally, if I review, it'll be something that might touch a little bit on men's issues or feminism. Other than that, there are a lot of other people out there that are very smart at reviewing. I can tell you that all of them would say pretty much the same thing, but there being more complaints than I would say. I think at its core, this could have been a great movie. It was still a good movie. Could have really looked at things that are not really looked at online or when we talk about men's issues. But I love the fact that the movie showed how men support each other, and him go and find Whitaker, and that made the movie so much better than just the beginning at the end. It made the movie have a heart, and that part I really liked. So that's all I have, and thank you for watching. You guys have a good day.